Hey guys, Shauna here. So this is going to be the official video on my twin flame story. I've actually made this video before on my main channel, but I ended up deleting it. I made another one in April, but I never posted it. So I really just want to say this here today, put this story out here because after all, it's how I got where I am today. It's how I got into all this spiritual stuff, not until after we separated, but it's one heck of a story, I do feel, and I just know that something like this is never going to happen to me again. And I feel like it's something that cannot be logically explained. So there's still like confusion on my end. And if this person is even definitely it, but I know by all means, I would never really consider anyone else to really be. Maybe my karmic partner, which I'll say some crucial little points about that, but that's for like a whole nother video. Anyway, so let's get back to it. Let's get back to it. So I met my twin flame, who I believe to be my twin flame. It was my ex's best friend. And I met my ex in like 2016, right after I just got out of this other long-term relationship. And let me just tell you guys, me and this kid, we weren't even like anything serious. It was like 2 weeks into it, and there was just like all this talk. Like I kind of just knew he was talking to his exes, and then it proved to be true because I saw like her name written on the window, and I'm like, okay. So then I DM'd her, and she like told me about like, you know, how they were together and also his other previous ex. So I just like found out all this stuff. So I was like, whatever. Me and this kid, we literally just started going out like, and before that, I literally just got out of a long-term relationship. So I wasn't really tripping over it. I was like, just blocked. Like, I'm not dealing with this, you know, because he was already telling me like it isn't true, but then it proved to be true. So I was like, whatever. So when that happened, before that even got to that point, his best friend, I remember like feeling this weird type of like energy and connection. But see, at the time before, like, it wasn't even until after me and my twin separated that I started getting into all this spiritual stuff and learning like codependency and all that. Like I never knew what like any of that stuff was. So I just felt like this weird energy when we added each other on Instagram, and he would always like say things just kind of like messing around like, oh, I can roll better than like it was just, you know, but I never met him yet. And then after when that whole thing happened with my ex, I blocked him, and this kid ended up showing up to my house. He came to my house and was just like, of course, not even admitted to it, just like kind of pleading for me back, but whatever. We're done. We're over that. It's not even like we were in love. So honestly, I've been through worse, but this is just an important like thing that needs to be put into the story because that's how I met my twin flame. So I wish I just could skip over that and not talk about it, but it is crucial and is important. So yeah, he showed up at my house, and then I was like, whatever. And well, I wasn't like whatever. He was like being all extra. And then he goes like, come on, we'll meet Twin Flame. Twin Flame is going to be the code name for his real name, you know? All right. So keep that in mind. So he's like, come on, please. Like we'll go with Twin Flame. And like when he said that, for some reason, I just felt like I should go. And before this even happened, I remember like, I kind of felt like I've already met the one, even though I never even met his best friend yet. And I clearly knew it wasn't my ex who just like cheated on me. So I was like, it was just like almost like my intuition was like speaking to me. And I just really felt like I should go. And so this is the first time we ever met, you know, and this was like crazy because when we first met, we were in the car, me and my ex, and we get to his house to like pick him up. And as soon as he steps out of the door, it was like he opened the door and I was in the passenger seat, and I just like looked up and we both like looked at each other, and it was just like we like for like 4 seconds it felt like time froze. I'm not even being dramatic. Like I know you guys watching that out here on YouTube, you're probably like, oh my god, this sappy little love story, this girl's just head over heels. Like I know how it sounds, but when you're actually in these like predicaments, I don't know guys, there was like, and yes, I'm not gonna lie, my old self and still kind of myself now can tend to be a bit over dramatic and a bit head over heels, but no, this was definite. This was meant. So, so let me tell you, we just like stare at each other. And when that happened, it was like, he stopped too. And he didn't even close his like screen door. It was like for 4 seconds. And when we did that, I heard clairaudiently, I heard marriage. He's going to be important to you. And then it's like the voice like started fading out. And it was like, don't think I'm schizophrenic or anything either, because that happened to me twice in my life before, only twice. You know, clairaudient is usually where it's like your natural inner voice is speaking to you. But like the time that ever happened to me before where I actually heard those words, like it was not my voice. It was like in my mind, but it like wasn't. Like, you know what I mean? Like I know nobody else could hear it. So weird. Just to let you know, divine will get your attention if that's what they want to do. The only time I've ever heard something like that before is the last time I ever saw my mother. And they said, just be nice to her. And even that's crazy looking back at it, because I'm like, how did I just so like willingly go with that and didn't even like question? Because I was not into any of that stuff. Even when I met my twin flame and I heard that, I just kind of like, it's almost like they can take control of your thoughts and not even have you like really question it. And I didn't. And as it was like fading off, this was more like me and totally feeling like he was going to be with other people and date other people. And it's not that I necessarily thought, oh my God, this is going to be the person I marry. I just heard it. And that's not even what it said. It just said marriage, he's going to be important to you. So that's why I still have so much confusion today, because I'm like, okay, well, was he just like the soulmate to kind of prepare me to go through all these lessons and then like the next person after the one I marry? Or is he the one? You know? I don't know, man. I guess stay tuned to find out when Shauna like learns her soul lessons and grows, and then we'll see how the ending takes part. But anyway, so it was just like really weird. He got in the car. So the first thing he said was like, hey. And we both just said, hey. Like it was just like so natural. And I could just feel the energy. It was really weird. This was like years ago too. So that's why I want to get the story out here. And so it's still kind of fresh in my brain. Actually, the story would have been a lot more hyped up last year or so. I was on it. But we all went to like this pizza place or whatever. And I just remember I could not stop looking at him. And don't get me wrong, like I feel like this person is like attractive. I feel like he's beautiful looking and stuff like that. But I'm never like drawn to people. Like I feel drawn to people now, especially like because I'm more energy sensitive and into all the spiritual stuff. But there's never like somebody who, like, even if they're hot as hell, okay, like Justin Bieber or something, I don't know, just naming a few. I'm not gonna like be staring. Like it was just like I felt pulled, you know. It's like, okay, well he's good looking, but like damn, he's not like. And I just, well, he, you know what I mean. Hopefully you guys know what I mean. No shots thrown if anyone's, maybe if he's watching, who knows. But anyway, so I just felt drawn to him and I could not stop staring at him. I'm telling you, he was like eating the pizza, and I just remember like thinking like I've never seen anyone eat pizza so beautifully before. It's crazy. And I just felt like I kind of knew him. Like I felt like I already did like love him. Like but it wasn't like I was like, okay, I'm in love with this person, because it was like masked with a lot of confusion just because it didn't logically make sense. You know what I mean? And at the time I didn't even know what intuition was, but I guess it was just my intuition like telling me like, you know this person in a past life and you love them. They're probably the other half. I say that with this because of your soul. But I didn't know anything of this. So it was just like automatically, it was just like this connection that I felt. And there would always be like these weird synchronistic moments. And of course, after meeting him, like I just like went back with my ex, because I was like, dude, how did I just feel that? And now I need to like meet this boy again. That cannot just experience something like that and then never see him again. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll go back out on my ex. So we just like went back out after all that happened. And for the whole entire, like this went on for like, let me just get to the story. Let me not try to cut no corners or anything. This went on for like a whole like 2 years in total, but it was like the 1 year gap, like the whole 1 year before, like, let me say this, the whole year during, okay, because we actually did end up talking, but it was like very brief. It was like we didn't even hang out together alone. But like all those times, every single time I would hang out with my ex, he would also be there. It was my ex, his brother, and then twin flame. And it was just like so weird. I look back at it and we were definitely like telepathically communicating, or we just kind of like got each other on that mental level. There were so many like weird synchronicities. I'm just going to name a few. That's why I'm kind of glad I'm doing this video at a later date, so it's not like me going crazy into all these details and stuff, because I feel like even explaining it, it's still going to be really kind of hard to feel what I feel. It's still going to sound like some stupid sappy love story or some stupid girl who's just kind of in love with the fantasy. I mean, maybe that's what it is, but it was meant to happen. So that's all that matters because it got me where I am today. And I still feel like I still think about him sometimes. It's not like, I got to this point where it's like, I'm okay now. I'm good. Like, if it's not him, then it's not him, because there's also that whole karmic that came after. This is a long story, guys. Like, real ones, if you watch this all, like, I appreciate you. It's not going to be too long, but I feel like sometimes I just kind of explain things very complicated. So I'm going to try my best. Anyway, so I just remember these one moments, like, I don't know. I remember my ex would always like say how like his other friends were kind of saying stuff about me and him. Like, I like him. He would always be like, you always defend him over me. And I'm like, because you make no sense. Like, I don't know. Like, we just like connected, sort of like we just got each other more. I remember like the one time, like he was the one who never really had money or anything. And my ex-boyfriend was so rude to him, I swear. Like, I don't even know. I still feel like he is, but I guess they've been best friends ever since they were like really little. He would always just like make jokes like, oh, he's actually paying for something because he bought like a $2 soda or something. Like, I don't know. And I just remember always like feeling so bad. Like, oh my God, like, no, like this boy, he is so innocent. He is so, no, like, don't do that. Okay. And I just remember we all went to this place and he like, they're so screwed up. He didn't have money, so he didn't even like get food. And I remember like I gave him like the rest of like my food and stuff. Like it's so weird to explain because it's just like this feeling. It's just like something. It was like I was so drawn. Like I know I never in my life like went after a guy ever, 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 ever. And even when I find people attractive, it's not like I felt that like chemical sort of pull or like, and it's like even nowadays I can feel that pull with people, but it was just something so like unexplained, especially like not even really knowing this kid, you know? And there was just always weird moments. Like this one time, we like spent like the whole like summer together and everything. And I just remember like I asked my ex to like get me ketchup or something and he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it because he's a dick. And Twin Flame gets up and he just like gave it to me. And I don't even know, like it just sounds so, not probably listening to you guys, but just like the way he moved, like it was almost like everything was going slower. Everything felt like it was like kind of frozen in time. And he like handed it to me and it felt so like elegantly. And my ex-boyfriend was like, what are you guys, secret lovers? And like we just like dead stared at each other and didn't say anything because it's just like an energy thing. It was something that like everyone could pick up on, I feel. And and it was just like, and then when stuff was like that was happening, I'm like, damn, like what does this mean? And mind you guys, I don't know nothing about like spirituality, twin flames, anything yet. Like nothing, not until like a whole like almost 2 years later. And I'm just gonna pinpoint some little weird synchronistic moments that I had. And then like there was like this other time where I remember I was smoking with my ex and I was like, damn, that's like a smoke engine. I said it was like a smoke engine because I took a really big hit. And so like, because I would hang out with them like 3 times, like 2 times during the week and then like the weekend. So like the next day or so, my ex comes to pick me up again. And I could not understand why his best friend, which was Twin Flame, was on my mind. I'm like, why am I always thinking about this kid? It was just so heavily like in my mind. And it was even getting even stronger. And I knew my ex was like on his way, like right after that whole smoke engine thing happened. But when that happened, it was just me and him. Um, and the first thing he says when I get in the car is, Twin Flame said it's like a smoke engine. I'm like, what? What? And he's like, yeah, Twin Flame said it's like a smoke engine when we were smoking. I was like, I just said that. I was like, I said that. He was like, yeah, he said it too. Maybe you guys are soulmates. He dead ass. Like, I didn't even say nothing. I was like, oh my God, he knows. I was like, he knows I'm in love with his best friend. But I didn't even really know that I was in love with his best friend. You know what I mean? It's almost just like I was so confused. I was just like mesmerized, honestly. Every time I was around this kid, it sounds so dramatic, but that's how it was. I was just like mesmerized. It's like I totally knew I was in love, but it didn't logically make sense. So I wasn't like, oh, I'm in love, like, you know? And I was like, I don't even know what I said. I just remember I was speechless. I didn't know what to say. I was like, well, that's weird. Like, I don't know. And I'm thinking to myself, holy shit. Because mind you guys, like he was on, I was remember going out of my house, like, and all I could think about was his best friend. I was like freaking out, like, oh my God, why can I stop thinking about this kid? It doesn't even make sense. I remember sitting in school and I was getting like, I don't even know if it was memories, if it was what. I was like picturing us like on some notebooks, shit, okay, like in the rain kissing or something. It felt like a memory, but I was like, oh my God, I was like, is this what it means to fantasize about somebody? Literally, because all this was new to me. Like I never really felt that way. It was just like nuts. And ooh, it was just crazy. So like there was just always all these weird synchronicities. And I remember like he always would have like these little girlfriends, like every here and there for like 2 months. It never really would work out or anything. Like they would always end up like leaving him or just I don't know. And I remember this one girlfriend that he had, and I was with my ex, and like we went to her house to like I don't know, she was like having this party, and this is like the night where I really started to register the fact like, okay, I am in love with this kid. Like I feel it in my heart. I felt it in my heart chakra, but I didn't know what a heart chakra. I didn't know anything about a chakra and an intuition. Like I had an intuition, but I didn't know what it was, you know? So I'm like, oh my gosh, I just remember at this party, like for some reason he was like, I don't know, his girlfriend was being weird. She was like running away from him and like he was like chasing her. I don't even know. Like it was so weird. We were kind of like drinking a little bit, but oh, that's also the night that I took a recording of him like on the harmonica. I actually still have it on my phone, but you know, we're not going to show that. We're not going to disclose his image or anything. And oh my God, he had like the curly hair, the curly long hair that he has. Pretty sure it's short now. You know, he would rock it both ways. But anyway, so I just remember like he ended up started crying because like something with his girlfriend happened. And don't even make fun of him, okay? I think that's the most beautiful thing ever when men can be sensitive and open and loving like that. And just to see him cry, like that really did something to my heart. I remember I gave him a hug. That's the first and only time we hugged because he was sitting there crying and I just felt like so bad. And it's so weird too because I don't know, guys. This is a weird night. I was like younger, so don't be judging me. We sound like a bunch of clowns, like looking back. Because I remember, like even oh, that's what happened. My ex was in the other room talking about how he like banging his other ex, like literally. And I heard him, and I got so mad, and I started like leaving. And even like Twin Flame was like coming after me too. It was just like crazy. And then that happened where he was going after his ex and then he started crying and like that's when we hugged. And I feel like that's when our souls kind of connected or something. I don't know, but I just remember it was like really sweet. So then that night, me and my ex 10 feet away from me on the bed. We were had the one room and then Twin Flame and his girlfriend was in the other room right next to each other. And I remember in the morning, the first thing all I wanted to do was see him. I could not think about anything else. I was just like, oh my God, like I want to see him. I don't know why. And I woke like, that was like when I was like kind of coming into like consciousness, but my eyes were still closed. So it was like right when I woke up. We must have been connected in the astral realm or something. I don't know. But so literally he was like the door was open and because my ex is like up at the fucking ass crack of dawn and he was like standing there and he was like literally looking at me. Oh my God. He was like looking at me while he was talking to my ex, like, and I could tell he was there because I kind of like peeped, but then I like acted like I was asleep still because I don't know, I wanted to like look like Sleeping Beauty or something. Yes, like I probably look like Godzilla, but anyway, that's besides the point. So after he ends up, my ex ended up going downstairs and then Twin Flame was in the other room and I knew he was. And I waited until like he closed the door. So like he didn't see me. So I went in the bathroom and I tell you like, and it's almost like, it's so weird to explain. That's why I'm like, I feel like, how do I put this into words? Because when I was like going for the door handle, it's almost like I can know he was like right about to come out of the bedroom he was in. And I swear, like he probably felt the same thing because I opened the bathroom door, he opened the bedroom door that he was in at the same exact time. And he was like, oh, there you are. I was looking for you. And I was like, here I am. Like, oh my God, I literally said that. And I don't know, guys, it's just so weird. It was just like all these weird synchronistic things. And I want to tell you guys something. This is creepy. This is like really creepy because we actually went to the same high school. Well, the first high school I went to, because we all know I went to 3 different high schools. Technically 5 different arrangements if we want to get real technical. But my freshman year, when I still lived in like my hometown, which is like the county outside of the city, we were in the same gym class, which of course I wouldn't even have known because, I was never there and it was first period anyway. But it's funny because I remember like one of the first days, I remember feeling pulled towards somebody, like, and this was like a whole year before I even like met him, almost 2 years before I met him. And it's like I just felt like kind of across the gym and I was like, well, that's kind of strange. But then I never like, nothing ever came of that. I ended up moving. And when I first moved, this is also important, guys. I know I'm kind of all over the place, but just listen. Because there's actually if you miss the climax of the story, you're going to be disappointed. Because it gets real, okay? I like was possessed by alcohol. And literally, that's what happens. When you black out, you become possessed. Like, I am so sure of that. Let me tell you, I do not drink now. But whew, I'm so sorry you had to see that side of me. I never even, I don't know. I wasn't there. But let me say this. Not my ex, okay, not the boyfriend who was my twin flame's best friend, but the one before that I was telling you how like, I just got out of that long-term relationship. I remember when I first moved from the county to the city, so I was still with like my original boyfriend. Don't worry, guys, I only had 3 boyfriends. I don't think I got them all over here. But I remember I went to visit him because he still lived in like the hometown where I used to live. And he literally said like he was going to smoke with, he said Twin Flame's nickname and 2 other people. And mind you, I never even met this kid yet. But when he said that, it automatically felt familiar to me. I said, who? And then he said his full name. And I was like, I remember I just like was like puzzled for a second. I was thinking, I said, that sounds familiar. And I never met him. And it's so weird, guys, because I didn't even remember stuff like that until after we separated. It's almost like all this stuff was happening, and then when the separation period happened, I was just getting like overthrown with like all these memories of like all these little synchronicities. All the dots started connecting. It's like everything was meant to be in perfectly defined order. And I just think that's so wild to me because even when like my ex said his name, like it sounded familiar to me. That's how I know past life stuff, all that is real. So let's just get long story short. He was just always being like I remember like I'd be throwing up one time being drunk. I used to drink a little bit back in my day. And he would be like, is she okay? And like every time he would talk, like I would automatically become sober. Like, I don't know. It's just like nobody else would be able to, like, I would be in my own little bubble. Like when he talks, it's like angels are lighting up or singing or something. So let me just say this, skip to the summer. He ended up adding me on Snapchat, and this is like when I was heavily thinking about him. So I was like, oh my God, he feels it too. Like he added me. And I remember he like Snapchatted me, but he was like with my boyfriend at the time. And like they like sent me a picture off of Snapchat. So it was kind of weird. But like nothing ever really happened with that. And I ended up just telling my boyfriend, like, yeah, I do like Twin Flame. Like, I like your best friend because, he added me on Snapchat. I'm like, okay, like, I'm feeling this way. So I just told him my ex. And then we ended up breaking up. And then me and his best friend, like, literally started talking. We only Snapchatted and it only lasted for like 2 weeks. And it was just like normal. It was just like normal. But then my ex ended up getting mad. So like he just said like he couldn't anymore or whatever because my ex was like getting all pissy and stuff. And it was just funny because I remember saying like when I said I liked you, it didn't mean it has something needed to come of it now. We can always wait till next October or something. That's what I said. Because honestly, none of us had our license. None of us had a car. Like I lived in the city. He lived in the county, like where I originally came from. So it was like I don't even know what logically sense that would make. Like we wouldn't even have a way to see each other really if we even did have something come of that. It was just like not a good circumstance. So I was like, whatever. I literally went back out with my ex again. And meanwhile, guys, my ex was literally cheating on me the whole time. So I don't want to hear no comments down below saying something. I remember the last Twin Flame video I made about how I told this story. And literally, this one girl commented, and all she had to say was like, I think it's kind of messed up how you were in love with his best friend. I'm like, girl, did you not hear the whole, and I got into depth, into detail, into like what my ex actually like did to me in that last story. But like, no, we were not in love. Like, he literally was just on Tinder all the time, like his two exes, like, and he low key knew that I was like in love with like his best friend. Like, he was the one even saying all that, but it's almost like he tried to play dumb because he knew that he was doing shit too. So it's almost like we both knew like what each other, were doing, but like we didn't really like say it. It's actually really funny because me and that kid, we were always arguing over dumb shit. Like, he would always trying to nitpick about like stuff going on in the world, like dumb shit, but we never fought. We never fought over the fact that he was just like screwing all of the town, and I was in love with his best friend. Like, that was never really addressed, honestly. It's a really really weird situation. But I just ended up going back with him because I was like, dude, like, no, like, I'm not just gonna stop seeing him. Like, we just started talking, and then I was so upset. I was so annoyed. And I just remember like the first time I saw him again, after like we talked for that little brief moment, then I went back with my ex, and he was wearing glasses. Oh my God, glasses that literally kind of look like this too. That's crazy. And he was wearing like these jeans. He looks so cute. Oh my God. It probably sounds like a little not cute how I'm describing it, but it was. So I don't know. I just remember like he like came up to like the truck, like my ex's, and like I just remember like him looking in, like, oh my God, I can't explain it, guys. It's just like the little things that would not make sense to maybe anybody but me and him, or at least just me. Maybe if it is just one sided, who knows? I know it's not, but I don't know. I don't know at this point. I know there is a lot that I need to like get rid of and out of my life. But wait, let me just tell you this because it's actually important. I forgot this. In that brief moment where we stopped, Snapchatting, I actually wasn't going to go back with my ex right away. That's actually when like the Gemini who's in my life now. Yeah, so that was like 2017. We ended up like having each other on Snapchat, Instagram, and everything. And like he would just like say shit to me and then just like not fucking reply. Oh, excuse my language. And I was like, dude, I'm done with it. So I just deleted him. I just ended up deleting him. I was like, all right, this kid's stupid. Like, bye. Like, he just kept saying shit and just like, okay, like, you don't want to, I don't know. So then I just ended up going back with my ex because, I was still kind of, and guys, I know I sound a mess, but I was codependent at that time, and I didn't even know like what any of that was. So it wasn't like, I was a whore or anything, okay? So don't be thinking that. I mean, think what you want, okay? It was meant to happen. But anyway, so yeah, I just think that's a very crucial part because it's almost like even when that other kid came in, it was like that soul recognition. And it's like each time things would end with twin flame, that's when the Gemini, who I believe to be my karmic, came in each time. And it's just like crazy. It's like, it's almost like if everything was meant to be this way and I wasn't meant to know all the answers. But, anyway, so that continued for like a whole other year where we were all just like hanging out and stuff and like all these weird synchronous moments. I could go into detail more and more, but we'd probably be here for a long time. It was just things that I couldn't really explain. Like me and this kid, we didn't really have that many, we would have conversations sometimes. Like I remember like when my ex was being like a douche or something, like he would just be like, he's just like that. Like he was always just like saying something to like be there. And I think it's just because he's a kind, caring person. Maybe my deprived ass of affection just wasn't used to that. I don't know, but it just was like really sweet. So that happened for a whole nother year. And like towards like the going into the other new year, let me just tell you guys, I could kind of feel that things were changing. Like he wasn't really like it was an energy difference. Like it's almost like he was trying to pull away, or I don't know, like he wouldn't really, because every single time, like we would always just like lock eyes, guys, like every time, like we'd always just be looking at each other. It's almost like he could just like understand the things I was going to say. And like there was even this one time in the summer where he put on this song and everyone was like, what the hell is this? Like my ex and his brother was like, I kind of said his name. They're like, what the hell is this? And he was like, he changed it. And when he put that song on, I felt this feeling like it was for me, or it was almost like divine telling me there was a message. I don't know, and mind you, like I wasn't into any of that, but it was like I was registering it still without even knowing what it was. But then he turns it off. And I say that because it's going to be important for the story later. And then there was even this other moment when he was rolling the bleezy, and I remember like just like looking at him like always. And I remember thinking to myself, like, it's almost like my intuitive mind, how is this my other half? I thought other half. I didn't even think soulmate. I didn't even think, I literally thought other half if he is left-handed and I'm right-handed. I remember thinking that. And that's important too, because one of the signs that I read like during separation is that your twin flame will be the opposite hand of you. Like you're not going to both be right-handed or left-handed. And I know someone commented on my last video and said, that's not true. Okay, well, it was true for my case and my journey, and that's significant for me because the way that I pointed it out like that and thought about that, and then like a year or so later, it was one of the signs, and like all that started hitting me. It was a sign for me. So all that happened, and like reeling towards the new year, this is actually like when my home team won the Super Bowl. We all went up the mountains. Well, they didn't win yet. It was Super Bowl weekend, but they ended up winning. We all went up the mountains, and literally, guys, I only went because I could not contain myself no more. It's almost like he was pulling away, but like my love was only growing, and it was like an energetic thing. I was like, Operation Get My Mans. Like I needed to do something. I just did. I don't know, guys. A little crazy. I don't know what the hell I was gonna do, but all I know is that I was going to that mountain house. Okay, so I ended up going, and honestly, me and my like ex, we were like partially together. I don't even know. Like it was just the most screwed relationship. But anyway. I ended up like getting really drunk. Not the first night. The first night was like cool and everything. We were all just like chilling. But then I remember like the second day, like I was kind of just drinking like all day, and it was just like weird moments all the time. I can kind of tell that like I think I was like putting too much of my energy on him. Like I remember like we were in the forest. This was like the first night, and we were like walking, and like me and him were always getting left behind. Like we were always like go in the woods and stuff. It would always be me and him getting left behind, and just like my ex and his brother like all the way ahead. And like he handed me the bleezy. And I remember like I was trying to go down the slope, but we were up the mountains and it was like filled with ice and snow. And he was like, just slide on your feet, just crunch down and slide on your feet. Like he's like trying to help me, of course, like the only nice one, you know, like it was always just stuff like that. Like, I'm like, okay. So I tried sliding on my feet, and I was like, I can't stop. And I was just like sliding, and I don't know, it's just like a real cute moment. But then after that, like, you know, we got out of the forest, everything. And I just remember like this was like the next day, like when I was drinking. And then towards the night, oh, I couldn't contain myself, guys. I think I was really trying to like drink just so that I could confess my love. I mean, I already did like the year before, but listen, there was no holding back this time. It was just like growing. I remember like when he even hung up like his jacket the one time up the mountains, I was like just dead staring at him. Like, oh my God, like I can't describe it. It's like I'd never seen such like graceful movement, I feel, in my life. I don't know. It was so weird. And it was like an energetic like thing. And so, okay, so up the mountains, let me just tell you guys, I'm trying to like remember this vividly. I was kind of like really drunk. So a lot of these times I did black out for, but I just remember like me and him went back to like the other mountain house that we were all sleeping in, because we were at the mountain house like with my ex-boyfriend's like family party. And me and him just like walked back and got the bleezy by herself, and like we were just like talking and stuff. And then I remember like me and him were just out there smoking it like by ourselves. And then my ex like came out and like he just got all pissed. He's like, whatever, like got all mad. And Twin Flame was like, what's his problem? I was like, I don't know. He's probably just mad that I'm out here with you. And then I started to say, I was like, honestly, I don't really, bitch, let me tell you, he like handed me that bleezy really quick and like ran in the house. Oh my God, I feel like my neighbors can hear me. It's almost like he knew what I was going to say. He knew what I was going to say. As soon as I started to say, honestly, I don't really care. He and just like left like in the house. I was like, whatever. So I just like finished it, you know, and then I went in, I started drinking some more, and I just started feeling pulled towards him. I was like, dude, I cannot. So I went up to him in the kitchen and I said, Twin Flame, I said his name. I was like, I have to tell you something. And like before I could even say it, it's like he knew what I was going to say. He like puts his like telling me to like chill almost, and just like kind of walks away. And I don't know. I think after that, I just really started taking like all these shots. I was like dancing. I don't know. I blacked out after that kind of really. Oh, guys, wait, I forgot a little cute part. This is before I was like really drunk. This was like before the Bleezy incident when I was just like drunk. We were watching the actual football, even though I wasn't really paying attention. I couldn't because all I could think about is how he was like next to me whole time. I remember like I saw like the little kids upstairs were like being mean to this one kid, and you guys know I'm a big advocate on kids and not being mean to people. Like I don't like that. I always am the one to stick up for the underdog. I don't know why. It's like when a lot of people are bagging on one person, I'm always gonna be that one person to kind of be like drawn towards them or like support them. It's just always how I've been. And so I just tell like my ex, I'm like, go tell those kids to stop. So he goes up there. So then it was just like me and him. And like, of course, my ex's family is all like right there and stuff. But me and him, me and Twin Flame, we're just like cracking up almost because he was cracking up. Like he was cracking up. And I just couldn't take it. My heart, I was like, oh my God. Because he was like just saying like, hey, Billy, stop. Like he didn't even know the kid's name, but he was just saying like, hey, Billy, stop it. Like just being stupid. And I guess he just thought that was like so funny because he's like, I don't even know his name. I don't know. It was dumb. And like the way that he was just laughing, oh my God, I just was like feeling like I'm going to have kids with this person. That's how I was feeling everything. Like I couldn't believe it. I just was like, honestly, like after that, like after seeing him crack up, I was just like I feel like other people could see like something was wrong because I was like, oh my God, I am so in love. And what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I don't know. So then that's when that whole like, I got to tell you something. We went for the Bleezy. Then all that happened. But then afterwards, you know how I said, after he shrugged me off the second time, I was like, all right, it's just time to get drunk. So I ended up blacking out, guys. And to this day, I don't really like remember totally what happened. This is just like based off what they tell me. I remember there was like this whore ass girl here, like my ex's like uncle's girlfriend or something. She was just being a hoe, like she really was. She was like all touching like my ex and like Twin Flame, and I just remember like even when I was sober, like just being annoyed and like, ew, like you're like 40, like I don't know, go somewhere. But she was like real like tiny too, like 4 foot, I swear. I don't know, like she was annoying me, and I ended up like. Oh my God. Apparently I ended up like wanting to fight her. Like I was trying to fight her and everything. But this is like, I don't know what happened, guys. I feel like my ex was probably provoking me. I just remember like they said I flipped the food table over. And I actually do remember that because I remember hearing like, why did you just do that? And as soon as I did that, like me and Twin Flame like looked at each other. And that was for like a split second. I was like sober. But then after that, I like blacked out again. So anyway, we ended up going home, you know, ended up like causing a whole big scene, was trying to like fight everybody and everything. Like, not everybody, but that one girl, the 40-year-old woman. And I was literally 18. I still would have, listen, she was short, like, she could have caught these hands. Okay? It's like, I'm not a promoter of violence, but, you know, she was asking for it. And honestly, I wish I could remember because I know my ex was just doing dumb shit to piss me off. And it was probably because I had so much feeling within me and emotion that I tried to express into Twin Flame beforehand. But I feel like because I wasn't able to, I don't know. I guess I just kind of lashed out. That's like the only part I remember. Well, I do remember like later in the night, which I'm going to get to now. So, let me just tell you guys, I woke up, pissed my pants, had bruises all over my legs. And apparently I had bruises all over my legs because my freaking ex dropped me down the hill, walking down, drunk. Like, I couldn't even believe it. I don't even fucking remember. Oh my God, my language. I don't even remember that. That's how you know I was out, okay? Like, I was gone. I got dropped down a hill and don't even remember. And so I just remember like this is like we got back to the house and I completely blacked out, but I was like a little bit sober now. And I couldn't remember if I told Twin Flame if I loved him or not. I couldn't remember. I was like, oh my God, did I tell him? So like me and my ex, like we had the whole like room downstairs with like the bathroom, the deck, everything to ourselves. And they were like all upstairs and like different rooms. Well, Twin Flame was like in the living room and then his brother was like in the upstairs room. And so I knew he was like right up there and I couldn't remember if I told him or not. So I just remember like crying. I don't know why I was crying. I don't know. I was like upset and I felt bad because, you know, my boyfriend, even though he was fucking cheating on me, you know, whatever. I just remember crying like, I love him so much. You don't understand. He's like, Shauna, I know you said it 100 times. I was like, no, you don't. Like, I was just being so extra. I really couldn't tell you why. I think I was just really drunk and like emotional and kind of like really upset. And apparently, me and it was nuts. Like, there was like all this other stuff they were telling me, but I don't even like remember. I was just emotional wreck. So, like, he wasn't there when he was upstairs. So, like, I was purposely saying it louder so that he could hear it. And then that's basically all I remember for that night. I woke up with freaking piss. I pissed my pants. And my boyfriend wasn't even in the bed. I'm like, what the heck? I woke up at like 5 in the morning. I had piss all over me. I had no idea what happened. It's not funny. It's really not. I really am not a promoter of this at all. But it's just crazy. And I had bruises all over my legs. And I'm like, where the hell is this kid? What happened? So I just like wrapped the blanket around me. I go upstairs. Oh, guys, I got to tell you this other one moment. They're so messed up. That's what I'm saying. They're always so mean to him. Because you know how I said, like, he was in the living room and sleeping on the pull-out couch? They literally left this kid with a pillow, with one single pillow. There was not a sheet on his mattress. There was not a blanket, nothing. And the first night, I'm like, you're not gonna give him a blanket? Like, so I went downstairs and I stole I took my ex's blanket and gave it to him. And I remember I just like threw it on him and he was like, thanks. Just like laying there on his stomach. It was just like so cute. And there was even this other moment. This was like before all this happened, like the first day when it was chill. It's important because it was a crazy synchronicity. You know that Snuggie commercial was like, I can't sing it right, guys. Wise men say only fools. You know that one? I can't help falling in love with you. That was playing, and it's like as soon as I came up the steps, he was like right there, and like that was playing, and we just like locked up. It was crazy. Like there was just always like weird things like that. And so anyway, after I black out, I like woke up at like 5 in the morning. I went straight all the way upstairs to his brother's room, and he was in bed with his brother. He said I tried beating him up. Like, I don't know. I really don't know. He said I was acting too nuts and that's why he left. I don't know, guys. I really don't know. I swear, that's not how I am. Like, I'm usually like really happy and stuff, but I was like possessed, guys. I really was. I don't remember. And the sad part is I always wanted someone to tell me. But anyway, all that happened, and that's literally the last time I saw him. But let me tell you guys this, because they ended up dropping me off, and when I got out of the car, he was the only one that said bye to me. He was like, see you later. See you later. Yeah, you will. I'm still holding that to you. Okay? Anyway, I'm just kidding. Kind of, sort of, not really. But anyway, I just remember like, I was like, whatever, because my new MacBook that I just ordered came in, and I didn't even really remember what happened. You know, my body was taking a beat and I had to recover. So I was like, whatever, it is what it is. Guys, let me just tell you, I remember like the next day, I just felt so much sadness within me. Like the next day or two, I felt so sad. I'm like, I have to tell this kid, I have to tell him something. I like wrote him like this, not like a big long letter, but it was like kind of like a paragraph long, just saying like, hey, sorry for apparently telling you I love you. Oh my God, yeah, they told me that I said, F you, twin flame, I effing love you. That's what I said in front of everybody. My whole entire boyfriend's family, like everyone. That's why I was saying, like, I think I was just like had all this emotion. And it's like no one was hearing me. I tried telling him when I was like semi sober, but I guess when I just blacked out, like I just started getting pissed off or something. And that's what I did. I was like, F you, twin flame. I was like, fuck you, twin flame. I have to love you. I don't remember that. I really don't. I don't. But that's what they said. So I was like, hey, sorry for apparently telling you I like you, but I can actually remember what I said to him, semi sorta. And I was like, I don't know why, but for just some reason, there's just something about you I like. And I don't know. I was just like saying all this. And he was like, I'm flattered that you like me, but after this weekend, I'm not sure how I feel. And blah blah is my best friend, his name, my ex's, and that's all I'll say about that. And I was like, what did I do this weekend? And he's like, it's not anything you did. I just don't think our personalities would match. Oh my God, I feel that in my heart saying that right now. He probably regrets saying it. If you regret saying it, if you're with a very slim 1% chance, don't worry. It's okay. I wouldn't like me either after that weekend hearing what I saw. And I was a lot different back then. I was a lot more like, I kind of like went to like a ghetto school. So I was a lot more like ghetto back then, I guess you would say. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but I definitely was a lot more like, I don't know. Just kind of like, I don't know. Okay. I don't know. I didn't have the divine running through me. Of course I did, but not really. Anyway, so, um, yeah. And that really like hurt me. Like I feel that in my heart right now. Like that shit really, that shit killed. I never once like I never answered him. I just left him on red, and he remained on my social media and everything for like about a whole another year. But like right after that, because that happened in February, the beginning of February. So like it was towards like the end of April, May, I started feeling really connected to him. I could tell, I could get a feeling when he viewed my Snapchat. I would be able to know, which is kind of normal for me now because I can do that with normal people like now too. I mean, not always, but I can, but at that time that was like something so weird for me. And I just remember like it was all these weird synchronicities. And we went to the beach, me and my ex, because I'm a dumbass and I ended up like still being with my ex over here and there. We didn't go out, but we would like, and we ended up going to the beach. And there was a moment, see it, guys, I left out so many memories, so many like crucial memories, but I guess it doesn't matter. And when me and my ex went to the beach, after all that just happened, like we weren't even dating or anything, we just like went together. Like was remembering back to the time, I guess, when like me, Twin Flame, and my ex went, and it's almost just like, I don't know how to describe it. It's almost like I just felt his energy with me. I did. And I remember even like when we were talking for those 2 weeks and I went to Six Flags, I remember being up on the water slide and I felt like he was with me. It's like his energy was like around me. And guys, because even when we went to the beach, when I did go out with my ex and like Twin Flame was actually there, I remember like we were just like sitting there and he like had to fix it. He like fix his shoe or put his shoe on or something. And of course my ex didn't wait. But of course, I stood back and waited for him because that's my little boo. Like it was just always like these weird moments and this weird connection. So how did I come across Twin Flame? I think I looked something up, like, why can't I stop thinking about somebody? And let me tell you guys, like, now that it's been so long, the feeling of like looking in his eyes is kind of like fading. I mean, I don't think it will ever fade. Like I'll always remember that. But I remember like the first thing I saw about like the Twin Flame is the eyes. Like you'll always know through the eyes. And I really know that to this day. Like I've never like looked in somebody's eyes before and felt that way. Like it's literally nuts, and it sounds so sappy. It sounds so, like I said, but you won't know until you experience it. And there was like, even like the one time, like when we were all together, like we were in the back of like my ex's brother's like pickup truck. Like, you know how like you can drive in the back and like there's no roof or anything, so the wind's all blowing. It was like my ex, me, and his best friend, Twin Flame. And like we were just like staring at each other, wind blowing. It's like movie scenes, I'm telling you. So anyway, this is like, let's get back to the separation phase. So I saw it online. It was just like all these signs, guys, and it was crazy. It was step by step. It was like the crisis stage. I'm like, oh shit, that was just like the other month when I flipped it. I'm like, how is my life? That is literally everything that I just went through, like to a T. Even talking about how there's like usually always like a third party situation and all this. And I don't want to say that because third party is not like your man cheating on you. That's not going to be your twin flame. I mean, we're all going to have different opinions, but in my opinion, that's not a twin flame. Your twin flame is not going to treat you wrong. They're not going to do you wrong. And that's why I'm so skeptic about my karmic now. But let me tell you guys, actually, I forgot the most important part. Yeah. After I sent that letter to him, like I was saying, that's when the Gemini came in my life again. I don't even know how this kid came in my life. Oh yeah, because I went public on my Snapchat for that, like, because it was the Super Bowl parade, because my city ended up winning, and it was Super Bowl weekend when that whole big crisis happened between my twin flame. So I went public on my Snapchat, and since I removed him, like I said, like the whole year before, I guess he was able to see my Snapchat again, and he like slid up to me, and like that's just how we started talking. So that was like ever since 2018. Yeah, and he's still in my life now. I don't know. He plays games, dude. Like he's not even. He didn't. I don't know, dude. He got issues. That's a whole other fucking freaking story. But anyway, so all these weird synchronicities, and I was getting like all these telepathic like communication with also like the Gemini and twin flame. And the thing is, like when me and the Gemini were like officially like talking, it wasn't even like I was really too worried about that, but we only ended up talking for like a couple of weeks until he got what he wanted, and then we just kind of are in this weird predicament ever since. I can't stand this kid. Does not, I mean, like, we all know I have soul love for him, but like, come on. I just look back at it, I'm like, oh my God, this dumbass has been getting away way too much for way too long. And I'm not trying to make him sound, he just needs to heal. That's literally what it is. But anyway, it was just like all this weird stuff. And like I told you how that song before, I remember like praying, asking for a sign. I did this one, like, I was like, God, please just give me a sign. Like, please. Like, I was just like wanting to know if it was him, because he was still on my social media. And even this one time when I fell off the cliff, guys, I thought I fell off a cliff, like 2018, about to go in 2019. It was in December, because I remember I removed him off of all social media right before we went into the year 2019, because I couldn't take it anymore. It was just like I couldn't take him looking at my, like, seeing his name, and it's like just waiting for him to like maybe fucking say something to me, you know. I just couldn't, so I had to end up removing him. But before I did, I remember I like fell off this cliff because I was trying to do like these poses. I saw my life flash before my eyes, like literally. I thought I was gonna die, bitch. I had a bump out to here, and my voice was really screwed up at the time, so I couldn't even like scream either. And I was like all the way down. And honestly, when I first landed, I wasn't even concerned about my head. It was my ankle. I thought I broke my foot, like I wasn't gonna be able to get up, and I was scared. But when that happened, it's almost like, I don't know, it was definitely like my spirit guides too. But my first thought went to him. I was like, he needs to know I love him. It's almost like I sent all my mental energy to him to let him know that I love, because I thought I was gonna die, like really. And it's like I felt him with me, guys. I really did. And it's so weird because right when my phone was up at the rock, the cliff that I fell off of. So I didn't have my phone or nothing. I just fell down this fucking cliff. I had a bump out to here. Couldn't really stand. And my phone was all the way up. So I'm like crawling up this cliff once I could finally like put some pressure on my ankle. And the first thing I did was like, he looked right at my Snapchat. He was this top, right at the top. It's almost like he could feel that like I was in danger or like needed help or something, because I like sent like, oh, you know, I felt like my life. I thought I was about to die. Like if I would have kept rolling, I would have. But thank God I stopped. Anyway, so I ended up like walking home. It was just like so weird stuff, guys. And honestly, nothing has come of this. It's just been weird things ever since. It really has been. I remember like almost like telepathically, like I think like someone was like laughing at my Snapchat, and not my Snapchat, my tweets I was making. And I was like, no, Shauna, like we already checked his Twitter. We saw that he doesn't use it. He's private. He had this profile picture with him and all his friends. And literally the only thing you can see of him is his freaking kneecap. So I'm like, Shauna, he's not looking at your Twitter. Like you're just going insane now. But I was like, someone just told me just to check. So I checked. And he had like this, it was whole like remodeled. He was public. He had like this God. He had like a scripture quote in his freaking bio and everything. I'm like, I felt it in my heart. Like that meant something. He was not into God and all this before that. It's almost like, and when I first started my spiritual journey, that's why I'm like, all right, let's cool on bashing the big man upstairs and religion, because honestly, when I received the body of Christ, like, I mean, when my sister was making her communion, that's when I really started to feel connected to him. Let me tell you, this was in May. Like I was saying, like around the shore, that was like right around there. I went back to my old neighborhood because that's where my sister lives, like in the county, and I'm in the city. So I told you this story is all over, but just follow along. So she was making her first Holy Communion. And so I like, you know, since I've already made my communion, I go and get mine, get the body of the Christ, which I probably should do again, because I'm telling you, I swear that's what led to my awakening. Because I remember from that point on, that's when I really just started to awaken. That's when I started to really feel connected to him too. And I got really big into like religion, sort of, when I really started to awaken too. I guess it was a way for me to feel close to God. And so like him seeing that in his bio, I was like, oh my gosh, like what, you know. And like I just remember like all this stuff started popping up about twin flame like on my YouTube, and I was like, dude, this is it. And there would be moments where I thought like, well, what if it's the Gemini, you know? But I never did, because the way that the eyes, like that's how I always knew, and all the synchronicities. And I would be stressing sometimes like, God, please give me a sign, like I was about to say earlier. And I don't even know how the hell this song was downloaded on my phone, but I was like, whatever, this is like you. I was like bawling my eyes out. I'm like, please give me a sign. And like nothing was happening. So I was like, all right, just let it go. So I hit shuffle and I'm listening to my music, and the first song it goes to is this song that he started playing when we were all like in his garage that one time, and then they were all like, bro, what is this? And it was like I just felt all these tingles throughout my body. It was like confirmation for me. And I even remember doing this one pick a card on like if they're your twin flame or not. I wish I could know what it was. But I picked this one. Okay, I picked for the Gemini this one pile, and for the other person, which was my twin flame, I don't know, for this other pile. But on the pile that I picked the twin flame with, it was the devil card. The devil card came up for the broad. So I'm like, okay, well, what if he's not? But get this, guys, get this. On the song, and she was saying something about how like there's something interfering with this union, and just like all that, like that devil card. But then like the other pile where I picked for the Gemini, because the song went along with it. It was the song Riptides of that confirmation that I heard in the garage. And I'm like, oh my God, that just completely mind fucked me. When I heard that song, I automatically was like, no, that's my confirmation. Again, that's my twin flame. But see, I was kind of confused because I picked the pile for him that was on the devil. And then the Gemini was that one. So maybe, it's like I'm confused. Maybe we all know the Gemini is the freaking devil. I mean, come on now. But it was just so crazy. And there was just always all these synchronicities. And let me tell you, like, it was really hard. It was really hard. Like, I was really upset at time. Like, it was all I could think about. Like, I didn't even want to. It would just consume my thoughts. It's like, I remember I watched this one music video, like, Lights Down Low. It's almost like I could feel like he was maybe watching that and thought of me too. And I remember just bawling my eyes out. This was almost like 2 years ago, or I don't know how long. And I was just like so upset. Like I just knew, like looking at the music video, like I can't describe it. So I'm not going to sit here and try. It's just something that can't really be described. And I feel like that's the most beautiful thing of it all. But it also really makes you like put your faith, and you just have to have blind faith and go with the flow. And the latest I've ever seen for anything is when, because I ended up deleting him, I told you, in 2019, right about to go in 2020, like a whole year later, I went public again on Snapchat. So he viewed it, but I'm pretty sure he unsubscribed to me because he never viewed it again. I mean, like, I don't really blame him, but it's just like I feel like he probably doesn't know. And I'm still like, okay, well, is that my twin flame? Is it just like I have to go and like learn my karmic lessons and like get out the Gemini out of my life who doesn't, yeah, we have this like great connection, I guess. And like I do have like, I do love him, I do. But he doesn't, we all know he's another whole case and scenario. He does not show no respect. He does not, and I don't want to say this to make him seem like a bad person or anything, because I generally just think he has his own problems. But the thing is that like what I'm supposed to do? It leaves me in such a conflicted place where I'm like, I don't know who my twin flame is. Part of me feels like it could be the Gemini, and then it's like, but it's like so unexplainable, like how things happen with the Leo. And I don't know, I've just been kind of in this place for the longest time. And I'm like more towards like the Gemini now, but then he does stuff like this. So it's like, how could I be? And it's just like a really crazy story, guys. That's basically like kind of it. I mean, I feel like there's more to it, but I can't really like explain and describe it all. It's just like, it was so much more intense. It's not really something that can be like really totally explained, because it was just more of like everything happening underneath the surface. Things that only you and I guess your twin flame could feel. And it's just unexplainable. It doesn't logically make sense. And that's why I understand why he's probably, he doesn't even know what to do. He probably thinks I don't even like him anymore and probably over it, which like I am. If you want someone, then go for someone. Like that's fine. And that's going to lead you to that point. Like, if I'm not the one who's going to make you happy, then I just hope that he is. And because based on what I've seen, he does look like a great person. But at the end of the day, I don't even really know him. You know what I mean? Like we never really got that chance to fully know each other. It was just a knowing of our souls. Sounds so corny, but it really was. So anyway, guys, I don't know. I feel like that's such a weird place to leave it off at. It sounds so stupid. It sounds so pathetic, but it just, it's not going to make sense to anybody. And it's just like, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Like, what do you guys think? Because this whole karmic thing, the Gemini, like, clearly he does not treat me right. Like, he basically just, like, I don't want to say uses me, but, like, that is what it is. But it's not like I know that there is something, like, more to it, you know? But he definitely, like, so I'm like, is it? And let me just tell you guys, I got a reading the other day off of this girl, Nora Nosy. You guys go get her. And in the cards that she pulled for the Gemini was the High Priestess, the Queen of Cups, the Moon in reverse, and the Three of Wands in reverse. So that's like self-deception. That's like secrets. That's like, and I'm like, yeah, probably like his feelings. Like, I probably am deceiving myself. Am I deceiving myself with the fact that he actually is my twin flame? Or that like I'm actually like in a worse situation than what I believe? I don't know. And then for the Gemini, not the Gemini, the Leo, my twin flame, it was the Queen of Pentacles, the Strength card, and then the Lovers. Which the Strength card is ruled by Leo, and the Lovers is ruled by Gemini. And I'm like, oh my God, so what does that mean? That mean I have to pick and choose? That means I have to like come into my strength and like align with like what choices is going to be right for me? Or does it mean I'm deceiving myself that it actually is Gemini? I don't know, guys. I really don't know, but I know that I get moments where I still feel it in my heart, you know? And I know that there will never be another experience like that in my life. And it may sound so cliche, so savvy, like, okay, girl, come on. That's just like, really, that's all the story. But like, if you could feel the things that I feel and just like the energy and how everything went down, you'd have a better understanding of what I mean. But I feel like that's how everyone's journey is. It doesn't make sense to anyone really, but I just think it's beautiful how like this person came into my life and was completely meant to be. It's not like we met online first. It's not like we met on some dating app. Like it was generally just like meant to be. And I could cry sometimes because I remember like I was so hurt over the fact that like, you know, and we want to get down to it. I know that he is my twin flame, but like there is a small part of me that feels like it could be the Gemini. The only reason why I don't think it is because the way that he acts. And it's also like it is intense between us two. And I don't want to like leave him out of my life. But I just can't help but to feel like, okay, well, I've never felt anything as strong in my life. And I never even like kissed this boy. You know, I never even really like know him. So it's like, you know how they say, true love is the true love that touches your soul before it touches your body. You love someone's soul before you love their body. And I feel this in my heart right now. So I hope I'm not making anybody cry because I know I want to tear up. And I'm just like, damn, but what do I do from here? What is it? And I've been knowing what I have to do. I have to stop. I have to align with my purpose. I probably have to get the Gemini out of my life, but you know, there's like a part of me that really loves him too. And it's just like, I don't know. But then I know from like everything I've been learning that it's not really like love. I don't know. I don't want to say that because I didn't. Oh, snap, guys. I just realized if you're watching this long, the last video I posted how I said like he's dead to me. Oh my God. Well, he was already here twice. We actually had our first sleepover. And he didn't even sleep in the room with me. That's what I'm saying. Like he slept on the freaking couch. And it's just because he's too like afraid. Like he just feels awkward in those situations. He does. And I feel for him. So I'm like, I don't know. I really just don't know. I really don't. It's a crazy story, but I'm glad to get this off my chest. This is probably like an hour long. I'm going to try to maybe edit some of this to make it look good or something. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. And honestly, if you can give me like any advice, like what you think, like who would my twin flame be? Like it's just things that can't really like describe or explain. And I think it just really takes like going off of your faith and doing what you know is right for you. Because at the end of the day, if I don't have the balls to leave a situation that I know that's not in the best interest for me, it's not that I don't have the balls. It's just like it would be in my like. Why does he do this? Like I don't understand. Like he just like stopped. He didn't answer me all day today, and like you know, like it's just like I don't think. And I even remember like my twin flame saying like when we stopped talking the first time, he was like, "I'm sorry. Like you deserve a really nice guy." Like he was always just so sweet, like always. So I don't know, guys. Let me know what you feel about this, about the situation. I'm glad to finally get this story out here. There may even be like small parts that I add more, like maybe another video if I ever forget anything. But I am trying to put this to rest because at the end of the day, like I'm a firm believer that the twin flame journey will lead you to your own journey. At least that's what it's been doing for me. And that's the only thing I can do for myself right now. Because what am I going to do? Stay hung up on a person of a ghost of the past? I mean, I wish that he wasn't, but that's how it is. And at the end of the day, like, I don't even really know this person. And we always had, like, it's like I totally know. I knew his soul, but like it wouldn't logically make sense. I'm sure he probably feels the same way, and I know he definitely listen. You ain't gonna experience something like that and then just not forget about me. So I know he still thinks about me from some time. Probably embarrassed. Like I feel bad. It's not even funny. Like I generally felt bad for him. I didn't even feel embarrassed for myself, even though I made a fool of myself out of my whole entire ex's like family and everything. Like I felt bad for him because that's basically like his family too. Like he grew up with them and everything. So, and I was like, "F you, twin flame, I effing love you." Like that was probably so embarrassing for him. But whatever. I mean, he was the one pushing me away, man. I was trying to tell you when I was had the consciousness. I didn't sound like I meant to do that. Now you know what happens when you just try to go head on first without a plan and you're just like, love, guide the way. That's what happens. You make a damn fool of yourself. Anyway, guys, that's basically it. I feel like I keep going on because maybe there's things that I missed out on, but maybe not. It's 10:30 at night right now, and I love you guys. So thank you for joining along. And Shauna in real life, feel free to tag along for more. And I don't know, that was kind of the most corniest ending I ever put right here. Maybe I'll tell the story of my karmic, but at the end of the day, I don't think I feel really comfortable enough. I feel like I would have to like, I don't know. I don't know because I don't want to like jump to conclusions and I feel like I'm always feeling every which way about the whole entire situation. So it's just like no way to be totally sure. And that's the story of my twin flame. And yeah, I still see synchronicities. I still feel like ways for him sometimes. But then am I just like in love with something I never had? Or, you know, so it's just like, I'm just going to let the divine powers be as they will because I've matured now and I'm not going to be selfish enough to like, it's not like you're selfish for doing that. It's just that you probably struggle with codependency if you're having a hard time letting go, which I feel like your twin flames can help you to get through, on your own, not with them, on your own. And it's a crazy story. It is. And even just like recently, I like had my ex send me a picture of him. And I don't know why that's what I'm saying. I know that he's not in my life. He's not at all. But the thing is, he would just like say stuff to me sometimes, like wanting to like hang out and stuff. I'm like, dude, send me a picture. Because I wanted to see what he looked like. I don't even know what he looks like. I still don't really nearly know what he looks like because the asshole sent like a freaking zoomed up bad looking picture of him. So it's like, I think that's beautiful. I think that's a beautiful story. And I always felt like it would be 5 years. Like, not at first. I thought he was coming like right away. But, we also had like a moment where we both said 23 at the same time. So maybe it will happen in 2023. I don't know. But I do plan on moving. So we'll see how things work out. And if he actually is the one I marry or if he was just the one who was preparing me for it. Deep down, like my higher knowing, I feel like he is. And I don't know how the hell it's going to happen. It's just something I feel and I don't know, but that's what it is. And I know that they're like, that's why I can't be certain because if I like cut the Gemini out of my life, I don't want to. I don't want to. That's what I'm saying. But like, I know that I need to because it kind of just, we're just going to ignore that and just let things resolve itself. I don't know. I don't know. But I know like once I cut those people out and like the things that aren't and like start to align more with my purpose, then I would maybe be able to see like, okay, like maybe this is my twin flame. Maybe this would, but I haven't done that. Like there's still work that I need to do. So how can I even be totally certain, totally sure? I can't be. So I'm open to hearing your guys' opinions, what you would like to tell me, like say, what do you guys think? What do you think? Gemini or the Leo? Who do you think is the twin flame? I personally think the Leo. I mean, Leo, Libra, love. The only L's in the zodiac sign. The 3 L's. I took an L that night, let me tell you. I did not care. That's what I'm saying. I was a savage. Like, I really was. Like, I really made a whole entire scene. Like, just no cares. I mean, I was blacked out, but man, I could see why he said, oh, our personalities don't match. Because I was like really kind of, I wasn't ratchet, but I really went, the last high school I went to was kind of like really ghetto almost. And it was just like, I don't know. Like, I kind of just like, you start to pick up on like what you're around the most. So I just kind of like, I just started to like, I don't know. I probably thought I was cool or something. It's not like I thought I was cool consciously, but I don't know. I definitely did go through like my little egoic, like, oh, I'm a bad bitch phase. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Anyway, guys, I love you all. Thank you for listening to this. I keep on continuing because I'm like, dang, like, I feel like there's something I'm missing out. But you know what it is? Like I said, it's just like the story, I feel like it's going to sound so bland to you guys, but it's like no amount of words could describe like how I feel and how I felt and how things felt within the moment. And I just feel like that's something that will never be able to be put into words. And that's really beautiful. And at the end of the day, even if it's not the person I end up with, it was still a true love for me. So that's all that matters to me, you know? May the force be with him, and I wish him the very best as well for all of you. Bye, guys. Love you. Shauna in real life. Just kidding. Let's not ever do that again. Bye.